So I'm going to call this meeting to order at 10:30. And if you'll join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And how about an adoption of the agenda for October 7th?
I move to adopt the agenda for October 7th.
Thank you, Sandy.
I'll second that.
I didn't hear who got it. Maybe Lynn caught it.
It was kind of a tie.
All right, put them both down.
All right. Well, we do have our second, and I think I heard Susan in there, so we'll give it to Susan. How's that?
Done.
Sure.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Consent agenda, we've got 2 items on there. Does anybody need anything pulled before we take action on that? No? How about a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items for October 7th, 2021 as submitted.
Thank you.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Boy, everybody's fighting for that spot, but I heard Susan. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Now we're going to move into our one and only action item which brought us here today. And this is request for approval of the AFR fiscal year 2021. And I guess we can let Erin go to start on her presentation.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, superintendent, for joining me this morning. As you all are aware, our annual financial report needs to be approved by October 15th and submitted, and our next board meeting isn't until the 19th. So again, I appreciate you taking some time this morning to help meet those deadlines. Our financial report this year is a little bit similar to last year. We are going to have quite the increase in carry forward into the new year, which is great. Thank you, ESSER, for that. That's one of those positives that's come out of COVID. So this carry forward obviously is going to allow us to address some things in the future once our and sustain some items once we run out of our ESSER funds. So hopefully we'll be able to use these funds to keep some of the positions that we've hired through ESSER, sustain some growth in our salary schedule, allow us to address our classified placement guide. That's all M&O, and then capital. We do have a healthy carry forward there as well, which will hopefully allow us to get back to our capital plan and complete some purchases and projects that are needed throughout the district and just keep up on some of our maintenance. Big reasons for these carry forward, as I just alluded to, is the COVID ESSER grant funds that we've received. Not only did they help with PPE supplies and things of that nature, but also we were able to shift quite a few of our salaries over to these grants, which then obviously freed up some money. We were also closed, as you guys know, from July to October. So of course we didn't have the travel, the utility expenses, things like that. So that of course saved us some money. And again, we didn't complete all of our, projects that we always want to complete or would, have on our plan to complete for capital. So that helped with, reserving some money there as well. We also didn't make any purchases out of capital funds, where in the year before we did purchase some new white fleet. So I am anticipating using some of this carry forward to address some more of our white fleet. Some of our vans are getting a little bit old. So overall, these carry forwards are good. They're going to benefit us. They're only giving us that cushion. So when these grants do run out, we still have some funds to help sustain some of the changes that we're making. As far as our grants go, we've spent on the ones that we needed to. There are some that you're not allowed any carry forward. So we were sure to maintain those and not shift those expenses from the grants to the other grant funds, ESSER. And then any of them that we could, offset with the ESSER funds and be able to roll forward to continue to use, we did so. And as you well know, we still have quite a bit of ESSER funds to spend. We've probably spent, I want to say, probably a little over $500,000 in ESSER funds this just in FY21, and we have quite a bit left to spend. So we do have a committee that is working to spend those monies judiciously and be transparent with those funds. So overall, we are sitting very well going into FY22. We did what we needed to do. We remained compliant, and thank you ESSER funds and school safety grants for helping us get through and begin our recovery period. Are there any questions that I can answer specific to the documents that you guys have in front of you?
Well, my question would be could you tell us what kind of projects they're looking at to spend the ESSER funds on?
Well, those, we have to spend 20% of our ESSER 3 funds on academic recovery, so to speak. So we do need to use that for that. We do have our instructional coaches that we have hired using ESSER funds. We have our nurse, our district nurse that we're using ESSER funds on. We're going to address curriculum because we do need to update our curriculum. So all of those, will be going through this committee that we have put together. So it's not just, two people deciding what all of those funds will be used for moving forward. And then we will also be very transparent in putting that on our website, and that will be updated. I think it has to be updated a minimum of every 6 months. Dr. Amandini, you can help me if that's incorrect. But so we have quite a few things that we're looking at to use those funds for. But it will be a group effort in making those final decisions.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question. You mentioned something about the white fleet, and I didn't catch. Did you say we had replaced some of it? The white fleet?
Yeah, in FY20, we bought 2 new white fleet buses. So just those smaller white buses, where in FY21 we did not. So we always have on our plan to potentially at least replace a van or a white bus or a car or something like that. And we didn't do that in 21, which did help our carry forward in capital. But I just actually was meeting with Mike this past week and discussing, hey, it'd be good to add another white bus or 2 if we can. And then we also need to be looking at our vans, and some of them are getting quite old. So in FY22, let's look at maybe purchasing 1 or 2 and retiring a couple of those ones, or preparing for them to retire on their own.
Okay, and then the other question I had, when you answered Sandy about the expenditure of funds, you said we had to spend 20% to make up for learning loss. I guess is what you said. I can't remember exact words that you used, but anyway, that was the way I understood it. Those things that you listed, is that come under that category, or are there other things that we are doing to help catch the kids up?
Well, there's going to be various any issues in spending at least 20% on that, because there's quite a few things that will fall under that 20%, such as summer schools that we can come up with that are evidence-based interventions to help kids. So any of those things and I don't have specific programs that I can speak to on that. I don't know, Dr. Remendini, if you have any specifics that have been decided upon, but those are the big categories that I'm aware of.
Yes, and I want to clarify that the 20% for learning loss is placed upon ESSER 3 only. So, right. And if that ESSER 3 was our largest allocation, and even with that amount, we will probably end up spending more than 20% on things like curriculum, updating our instructional ment. We are trying to address, it's just becoming more and more clear that our students are really emotionally struggling. There's more behavior issues at all the schools. I think you'll see that on the reports, that we just have some kids that are really perhaps needing some additional supports in that way. So that social emotional learning, those kinds of things, keeping our counselors busy. So any of that will fall into that. And we have several years to decide this. So it's very important that we don't jump to spend everything right away, because some things may surface over the course of this year that we just didn't really recognize now. So, but right now we are handling, the committee that Aaron mentioned is looking at all expenditures for ESSER. There's very few that we pull aside that we say, no, this needs to be charged to ESSER, because we want the committee to, we want a group of people to be involved in what's the best course of action for spending these extra dollars in this short period of time.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else?
Nope.
All right. Well, we can entertain a motion for that one.
I move to accept the annual financial report as presented.
I will second that.
All right, Sandy and Randy, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries, and it leads us into our adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, way to go. I appreciate that, Ron. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and we are adjourned at 10:42.